We are looking at a bone that just came out of Unit G, and this bone is rare because it is so large. Usually we find very small pieces of bone, whether fish or even rodent bone, but this is clearly not either of those, and to have something so complete and not crushed up is quite unusual and exciting. I found this bone when I was actually excavating a Curtivina, which is a rodent burrow. However, the rodent would have had to be quite large in order to move this bone, so we think that it probably made the Curtivina around the bone, which means that this bone can likely be dated to the sediment that it was found in, which is quite exciting. And when it was loose enough, then we slowly pried it free, and we wrap it in aluminum foil and put it in a separate container to keep it safe.
So here we're excavating feature 82, which is the fire pit feature that we had found earlier. And while we're excavating it, we're finding quite a bit of larger artifacts than we've typically been finding. The sediment that we've been excavating, that's the non-feature, our artifact count is lowering and we're not finding as many artifacts. However, in the feature we're finding larger pieces of debitage and even some formed tools. Just a minute ago I excavated this tool right here, which there is a little bit of Curtivina next to it. However, this darker sediment right in here is part of the feature. And this tool is the base of a projectile point. So somebody had probably tried to resharpen this projectile point, or at some point in working with it, it broke. And they left it in the fire pit, and we got to find it.
So in the process of making a projectile point, you need to have the piece, the core that you're going to make the projectile point out of, but what you also need is what we call a hammer stone to knock pieces off to get to that point. And so what we found here is what we think is a hammer stone, because on one side you can see points where it has been repeatedly hit into something else, like another rock.
Today in Unit 25, as I was straightening out the wall here, when I got near the bottom, I found a bone piece, and as we continued to excavate, it turned out to be a scapula, which is something we haven't seen at the site yet. After excavating around the scapula, I gently took it out and wrapped it in tin foil and then put toilet paper inside a little box so that as you place the object in it, it doesn't move around and break more.